Wednesday, NFL Week 8. Tonight's show is brought to you by Castle Public Adjusters, Graph FX Screen Printing, and by Auto Magic Car Care. And now here's your host, Mikey the Wall.
Yes, it is. It is that time. It's Wednesday at 8:30. Pushed back a little bit to accommodate our guest because I couldn't not have him in. I mean, the guy, it was such a hit first half of the season. He nailed his pick with Carson Palmer, and I regret it every day. This is the SG Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, Mikey the Wall. I'm joined, of course, by Pat, and we are here for Week 8. You can give us am I good? Give us a call, 267-563-2893, 267-563-2893. If you want to chime in, questions, comments, concerns, you want to yell at Pat, you want to praise him, let me know. Let me know if you ever want him to come back again. But before we get into it, I just want to, I've been mentioning this for about 2 weeks now through the Twitter, which you can tweet us at Sports Goombahs, and also mentioning on Facebook and everything like that. We're going to be giving away a free pair of Temple Owls tickets. Ooh. Temple against Memphis. That's as of right now, it's a ranked contest.
Hey, Temple Owls.
There's some top 25 football going on. Who knows if they'll still be after this game against Notre Dame. I'm assuming you're rooting for Notre Dame.
I'm big, heavy Notre Dame. Yeah,
I figured that was happen. You look like an Irish guy.
Yeah, not that I like Notre Dame. I'm not on board with all the Temple love right now.
The Temple love, you're not feeling it?
No
brotherly love out of you?
No one liked Temple.
3 weeks ago?
3 months ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no one liked Temple. No one cared. And now everyone's on the Temple bandwagon. I'm not going to be a fraud. I don't like college football. I'm not going to start liking it just because.
You're an NFL guy. That's why you're here.
I'm an NFL pro, and I'm going to stick to that. And I'm not going to jump into the college ranks. And I just don't like these frauds.
I think the reason you're rooting for the reason that you're rooting, actually, I'm surprised you're rooting for Notre Dame because they're big rivals USC, which is, of course, the college Carson Palmer went to. So
yeah,
it's a deep-seated, root for you. But
Carson's not happy with me tonight, but that's all right. Me and him are still boys.
But anyway, so how are you going to win that? That's the question. How are we giving these away?
How?
Now, I've made my hatred for FanDuel and for DraftKings very known. Unfortunately, I had to borrow a play out of their playbook. You can tweet us. You can text us with that number. You can put it on our Facebook page. You can search us for Sports Goombahs on Facebook. Or you can always go to sgshow.net. We have the little Contact Us tab. Give me your lineup. You don't have a cap. Give me whatever you give me your. We're going to go with one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a flex, tight end, defense, kicker, and we will. And whoever has the most points is we're going to go point per catch, point every 10 yards.
Okay. Standard
scoring. As it usually is.
Who's tallying this up?
That would be yours truly.
Oh,
so I'm hoping I don't get thousands of entries.
Got a homework.
I'm hoping I don't get thousands of entries, but it's a 1 week thing. I figured we'll do it week 8 because Eagles are off. So it's obviously I'm assuming you're gonna be a local person trying to win this because if you live in Maine, you're not going for Temple tickets, but
disqualified.
So yeah, we had nothing to root for at NFL wise. So I figured enjoy fantasy. 1 week fantasy, the Sports Goombahs way.
And you know what's also gonna be? I'll make sure, even though I don't want the tickets if I win. I'll submit an entry, and I would physically.
Employees are not eligible.
I would love just to submit my entry and go up against some of these haters out there and see how they're, because they're so smart and they know much more.
That's the rule. If you can't beat Pat, you're not eligible.
If you can't beat my team, then you're not eligible.
If he has the best score at the end of the week, I'm going myself.
Yeah, I'll donate them to somebody.
But that's how you win. So like I said, just give us your lineup. You don't have any cap. You want to go with the best team? Do you want to go with my rankings, which are probably going to be the best rankings you can go with?
Or mine.
Or Pat, if you want to come in second. Then yeah, that's how you're going to win. That's how you enter. And it's 1 submission per person. I don't want to get 55 emails from a John Smith.
Aliases out there.
No aliases.
Email addresses.
I need to find out how to get these to you. I can't get aliases. I can't mail them to Malcolm X, who lives in Bucks County, PA. But anyway, yeah, that's how you win it. So, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, text, the site. I'm giving you all the options you need. That's how you're gonna go see him, and you're gonna sit 8 rows from the field. I don't, we didn't go and get the upper deck, last row, $1.50 tickets. Big time. 8 rows from the Notre Dame. I don't know. Really, I'm assuming that's what people care more. Not Notre Dame. Sorry, it is Memphis. It's not. I'm thinking of this. I'm still pumped from this week's game because I actually am rooting for Temple. I want them to win. I'm not a Notre Dame guy. But anyway, we also had a question of the day out there. It was on Twitter and Facebook, and it is, did Glenn really die on Walking Dead?
You know what? I'm only on season 1, so the fact that you just said that is really ruining my night.
I'm just
I'm just
kidding.
gonna pretend I didn't.
See, all right. First of all, I'm kidding because that's not the question today. Secondly, the show aired 4 days ago. So
you still can't talk about it in front of someone.
So if you haven't seen it in 4 days, it's not my fault.
I'm on season 1, people. You know what? I'm late to the party, but I'm enjoying.
But I'm glad you're here.
Don't spoil it.
I'm glad you came to the party. No, the actual question today stems from something that happened in one of my leagues, and I thought I want to hear some other people. What's the worst trade you've seen in your league this year? There's some pretty bad ones. This guy just, I mean, is it considered rape if you willingly partake?
No.
So all right, so he didn't get raped in a trade today, but he bent over and he let it come.
He bent over.
He let it happen.
He let it happen.
So that's what happened. So I want to hear some bad trades in your leagues. Okay. Pat, I'm sure you've been on the receiving end of a couple of those.
I have a great one.
I'm sure you do. So let's get to it right now with quarterbacks, as we always do. And again, he was dethroned for 1 week last week, but he's back at number 1. Mr. Thomas Brady. He's playing at home against Miami on Thursday. I'm not crazy about the fact that it's Thursday. I don't know why. I'm just not a huge fan of the Thursday night games.
Me either.
But he's still the best ever. So Tom Brady, number 1. Number 2, Drew Brees. I think this might have been his highest ranking ever, but he's at home in a dome and he's playing the Giants. So that's it's pretty favorable to me. And again, I mean, actually, I should mention this before we get to the rankings. Bye weeks this week. No Buffalo, no Jacksonville, no Philly, no Washington. Not really the strongest teams. I mean, there's no heavy hitters out there not going to be available. So
not really.
But that being said, looking at the quarterbacks, so there's a lot of good quarterbacks, but they don't have the greatest matchups. I was looking at other ones, but we'll get to actually in a second. My number 3 is Matt Ryan. He's at home against Tampa Bay. In a dome against Tampa, it's pretty solid. I'll take Ryan there. Number 4, Phil Rivers, who actually was my number 1 last week. He really did not look good.
He disappointed. He actually got some garbage points, but he wasn't.
He got some luck points, I believe is what we're going to call him. We're going to start calling him luck points in honor of Andrew Luck, who is the king of the garbage time.
He started off with 2 picks, I think. It wasn't.
Yeah, he's at home against Oakland last week. I thought he was going to have a big game. It didn't exactly happen, but he's still top 5 right now. I have Phil Rivers number 4 at Baltimore. Baltimore's pass defense is suspect. Number 5, this is the lowest he's been all year, Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, on the road against Denver, when you're on the road against the number 1 defense of football and you're still the 5th quarterback of the week, that means you're pretty good.
Yeah.
So don't yell at me for putting Rodgers number 5. Number 6, don't worry, Pat, he's here. Carson Palmer number 6 at Cleveland. Yes. I don't know if Joe Hayden's playing. He's been banged up, hasn't really been playing. He's really the only one to worry about on Cleveland's defense. So I expect to get another good matchup out of Palmer.
Yep.
Number 7, I can't believe I'm saying this. Matt Stafford. He's kind of rejuvenated himself here.
He has a little bit.
After that fireworks display he had against Chicago. But so he's at Kansas City. Kansas City's been bad. The pass defense has been bad as well. So let's see if Stafford can keep it up. Number 8, Andy Dalton. Again, normally a guy who would be higher. He's been had a really good season. He's at Pittsburgh. Not that Pittsburgh's that great anymore, but at Pittsburgh it's a little tough. I'm more concerned about where he's playing than the fact that he's playing Pittsburgh.
Right.
Number 9, Eli Manning. You can't trust Eli at this point. I mean, when you're playing in a dome against the Saints, that should be in your favor at least. Right. I mean, I know it's not really always easy to go to New Orleans, but it's it's in a dome, so it's better than playing in the wind and the cold or whatever. But he's just been. I mean, I was on the receiving end. I should not have won my game this week, but he had 6 points.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
He had 6 points, and I won. I ended up winning, so I was like, yes.
He's not looking for people that have him out there, and he's your best quarterback right now.
He's hit or miss.
You're somewhat in trouble moving forward. If you are making it to the playoffs, I would look.
Actually, I want to hear from this. Yeah, because you do.
I needed every point.
You did.
He starts him on a weekly basis. He doesn't even consider anyone else.
Look, I won my game by 1 point, so I did every.
By 1 point.
Every one of the 6
he needed all 6 of those points.
Eli did it for you.
There you go. That's all you needed.
And he's going to do it this week again.
Number 10, big brother Peyton at home against Green Bay. Peyton Manning. I mean, top 10, I guess technically. Usually the Peyton Manning in primetime games, especially at home, was like gold. That was a 30-point matchup. It's not the case anymore. And Green Bay's defense is tough, but
yeah. Just real quick, what about Peyton this year? Give me your feelings on him as of 8 weeks that we're down 8 weeks in the season. You had Peyton as your man on a couple.
I do. No, he wasn't my man. No, he is my man on one team. He's my only starter. Although I actually had to pick up Mettenberger from 1 week because he was on a bye week. The other league I had Brady, so we're like.
So you're fine. I guess my question is,
I hate him.
Is Peyton done? Is this his last season?
I don't want to say he's done. I mean, he's still playing the sport.
Are you drafting him in the top?
next year, no, you can't draft him as a
Top
starter.
5 quarterback
Unless
for-
the second half he turns it on like crazy, you can't draft him as a starting quarterback. You can't.
I agree. I mean, I thought it.
I forgot to. I will say, actually, I hope this isn't going to turn out to be one of those bad trades I mentioned at the beginning of the show, but I do have an agreed upon trade for Peyton Manning, my other league. The one where he's my backup to Brady, because the other guy I'm playing, I think is not I'm playing, but the guy in my league is quarterback's on a bye, and he stinks. I think it's Eli maybe and somebody else. So he just needed a quarterback, and he's like, because give me Peyton Manning. I said, take him. That was my response, was take him. Just tell me what you're going to give me.
Right.
He's going to give me Frank Gore. So
Hey,
yeah,
I would take that all
but
day.
it's like his 6th running back. He has really good running backs,
Wow.
and I could use the depth. So I was like, screw it, yeah, give it to me. He's trying out other trades. He said, if nothing else works, I'll just take Manning. And it's sad we're at that point. Oh yeah, I'll just take Manning.
What a sad
Yeah.
story
So
for Manning.
if it doesn't turn around, I mean, if you're not gonna hear his name on the show anymore. It's second half of the year. Also, you're not drafting him next year as a starter. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
My number 11, Ryan Tannehill, had an amazing first half last week.
Oh my God, we were talking about it.
It was sick.
And you were just kept telling me, oh well, you just
Touchdown.
another touchdown, 50 yards.
They're all 50-yard touchdowns, and I'm in this one stupid ass league that gives you the 40. You get bonus points for 40+ yard touchdowns. So he had 55 points after the first quarter.
It was ridiculous, and I actually had him on the bench in my one league. I started Rivers because
Ouch. You have to. You have to.
Everyone's rankings.
Everyone's rankings.
But Tannehill just dropped bombs out of nowhere. I mean, it was
that's painful. And my number 12 is Teddy Bridgewater making an appearance. He's at Chicago, so I like the matchup, and he's found gold with Stephon Diggs.
Oh man,
I've been on Team Diggs since he got drafted.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I actually drafted him in my dynasty league. He was my 4th round draft pick.
Well, I think he's maybe played 3 games so far, and each game he's been putting up.
It's gotten better and better.
Better, and I think this
it's 100 yards and a touchdown.
And everyone knows. Before the season, I was high on Teddy.
You were,
and I haven't had a chance to talk about him because he hasn't
really
worthy of being talked about besides throw picks and not really look that good. And now I feel like he has a weapon that he can work with to go along with the AP in the backfield. I think maybe we'll start seeing Teddy have a lot better second half of the season.
Kyle Rudolph has looked solid, and Mike Wallace is still okay. So he's got something to work with. And again, easy matchup against Chicago's poorest defense.
Right.
And just the fact that, I mean, they're 4-2, so he's doing something right on the field at least. That's my top 12. Who do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna go Brady too. Also at number 1, he just always plays so good against Miami.
I mean, who does he not play good against?
Yeah, I don't like Thursday night games, but I think Brady comes out this week and looks pretty good. Puts up a solid game.
And the fact, I mean, we'll get to this more with the running backs, and you don't hear someone else's name, but they just don't run the ball. They don't run the ball.
They don't. And
I think they ran it 5 times last week. 5 times in an NFL game.
I guess he
was the leading rusher.
Brady's calling all the plays, and he's like, "Listen, it's my year. I'm going to win the MVP, and I'm going to."
And he can, if he chooses to, he can. It's at that point where if he wants to win MVP, he will.
Yeah, and I hope just a little shout out to Bill Belichick if you're listening. I know you're a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
Why don't you give me a little more heads up next week if I'm with Deion Lewis?
That came out of nowhere.
Because out of nowhere, I got Deion Lewis in 3 leagues, and it killed me.
You checked your lineups at like 101.
Yeah, I mean, I was busy, but hey, I didn't expect him to be out. You don't want to talk. I know
I didn't even know he was on injury reports.
Yeah,
I never heard anything about that.
Yeah, he's so secretive with his injury.
He just showed. Yeah, he's not playing.
So you know what? Give me a heads up next time, Bill. All right, number 2, I got Phillip Rivers. Like you said, we didn't have a great game last week. Got some garbage points this week. He's playing Baltimore. Easy secondary.
I feel like he's always going to have at least a solid game because he's either going to put up good numbers and win, or let's say if they're losing, he's just the king of garbage time. Well,
right.
Luck is, but
Baltimore's defense is just.
Speaking of which, by the way, have you noticed Andrew Luck did not make my top 12? I'm done with that guy.
You're done with him?
I'm done with him. He's awful.
Andrew Luck and Peyton. Before the year, we said we're not putting them in our top 12. Would anyone have believed us?
No.
It's just crazy. So I got Rivers at number 2 against Baltimore. Number 3, my man Carson, consistently playing good. He hasn't had a nice 30-point game like that week 1 when I called it that he would. He would have a great game. He hasn't done that yet, but I think maybe this weekend's Cleveland he could do it. Number 4, I have Aaron Rodgers at Denver. Tough matchup for Rodgers.
It is.
They're just on a mission to throw the ball. Eddie Lacy looks like he's a bust. James Stark is helping out, stepping up, catching passes, running pretty good. But they just want to throw the ball in Green Bay too. They don't really want to run it. And I think that Rodgers will the team to a victory, beat Denver. I think they're a little overrated.
Denver's probably the worst undefeated team in football ever.
But with Rodgers, Rodgers is the new Peyton Manning if there is one. Number 5, I have Matt Ryan, Tampa Bay. Easy matchup.
Yeah.
Falcons haven't been playing that great.
No, they haven't.
I think they're kind of due to come back and stomp a team.
They need that's things. They haven't had that game where it's just like they did against Houston. But then, that was like 4 weeks ago, whatever it was. Like they haven't had a game recently where they just came out put up 35, 40 points, and that's it. I mean, at home against Tampa is the time to do it.
I think this is the game.
Yeah.
Number 6, I got Andy Dalton playing great all year. He's going into Pittsburgh. It's a tough game for just that divisional game. Very tough.
Yeah, it's always, especially in division, it's always tough
But,
there.
hey, Andy Dalton went into Seattle and put up a great game. So there's no reason why I don't think he can pick apart a Pittsburgh defense that
The secondary's weak.
it's a weak defense. It doesn't break too often, but it does give up a lot of yards. So I could see him getting a lot of passing yards, and maybe AJ Green breaks off a big catch or something.
I hope so. I'll take that.
Scores a couple touchdowns. Number 7, I got Cam Newton against Indianapolis. Cam, he didn't play that good against us that last week. I mean, he's picked off 2-3 times.
Again, why 3 times? That's why he's not my top 12 either.
But you know what? He's been pretty consistent all year. Besides that, he still runs the ball. He's been getting
still poaching the touchdown game.
Yeah, he's rushing touchdowns in and getting extra points like that. So he's just fine. He's basically the whole team over there. So I think he has a better game against the Colts. Their defense isn't anything spectacular. Number 8, I am going to have Andrew Luck in. Carolina's defense. I mean, there was opportunity there last week against the Eagles. Now the fact that the Eagles just don't know how to catch the ball. You know, they don't know how to do anything on offense.
It's a different story for a different day.
I'm thinking Andrew Luck will come in, maybe step up a little bit more and put together a game that Andrew Luck should have put it together. And if he doesn't do it this week, then I'm with you. I'm done. But I'm gonna give him one last chance. I know it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, because even if they're losing, he's gonna end up throwing 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns that mean nothing.
Right.
So
and
they're still fantasy points.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him another chance to get that 25, 30-point game. We'll see if he can do it. Number 9. I have Drew Brees against the Giants. Like you said, easy matchup for Brees. He hasn't had a great year, but this matchup is something he should.
I'm always higher on Brees than everyone else. I know that. I don't know why.
I mean,
because it's kind of like with Manning. Like with Manning, you can physically see he's not as good. But I feel like with Brees, you don't see that yet. Yeah, it's not like you're watching like, oh man, Brees just doesn't have it anymore.
I don't know. Maybe it's the weapon.
I know.
He's working with guys that no one knew about. Snead. And
I know.
His tight end Watson, who's 50 years old.
I can't believe he's still in the league.
Yeah, it's just like he doesn't. What does he have out there besides a couple good running backs? So I'm cutting him some slack, but he has a good match.
No, he doesn't have a couple good running backs. He has one good running back, and then he has Kyrie Robinson, who wants to poach his touchdowns. But
Spiller, though, he can catch the ball.
Yeah,
a little bit. Number 10, I got Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I feel like I've noticed like on past shows, I put guys in there who aren't playing, and then they don't play. It's just like, well,
yeah, I'm going off the thing. I think
he's gonna play too.
I'm a little scared about.
But it is a tough matchup.
Yeah, it's a tough match. I'm a little scared about the knee, but he is at home, and if he is healthy, that offense over there in Pittsburgh could be really scary. With Martavius, he's had 2 touchdowns each of the last 2 games. Antonio is going to come back. Him and Ben are like best buddies. They're going to get Antonio going again. And then with Le'Veon Bell, this is the first time the trio would all be together.
Yeah, they haven't had a game together yet.
And I think if he's healthy, then that's going to be one of the best offenses going forward. We'll just see how he can.
Wish they're playing someone other than Cincinnati, though.
Yeah, we'll see how he moves around the pocket. Yeah, still tough matchup, but I think he can put up points. Number 11, I actually have Eli Manning in the Dome against New Orleans. Eli, tough game last week. Hasn't been playing that
He's
good.
Hit or miss. He really is.
I think this is, you know what I mean?
It's a good chance to hit. That's why I had him at 9.
2 bad games.
He doesn't usually have 2 bad games, but he also doesn't usually have 2 good games. So
Right, so 2 bad games. I think he's kind of, like you said, he's due for the good game. So I think the Saints is a.
It's like we said. I was listening to somebody who said like, and after the Eagles game, everyone wrote him off, like he's done. And then he came back the next week and had a good game.
Yeah.
And then he had a bad game. It's just like
he's up and down, and I think that'll continue. I think this week he has a good game, tricking people that he still got it, and then maybe next week he'll go in the tank again.
Go back to Eli.
And then number 12, I actually have Russell Wilson against Dallas. Dallas is they're just not very good.
Third is a mess from head to toe.
It's not so much their defense.
No, it's not.
Their defense is actually.
It's anything. It's their offense.
But it's the offense. It's turning the ball over, putting the other team's offense in such great position. I think Russell Wilson is the kind of quarterback that can capitalize on short field position.
I don't even know. I guess I'm rooting for a tie in that game. I don't want either of them to win. I don't want either of those teams to win. I'm just going to root for a tie.
Yeah, I mean
0-0 tie.
I hate both of them as well.
I do hate both.
So that's my top 12. Do we have sleeper this week?
I do. I got my sleeper, my bust, and some waiver pickups. Some when it comes to quarterbacks, usually not too many. My sleeper pick of the week, can't believe I'm saying this as well, Jay Cutler. And he's at home. Minnesota's good, but that's why he's not top 12. But he's got Alshon back, and it's much easier. Life's much easier when you have Alshon. He still has Forte, and he still has the type Martellus Bennett. So I figured.
Yeah.
Alshon.
Oh, yeah, I said that already.
Okay, my sleeper, same game, opposite.
Bridgewater, yeah.
In the top 12, I'll go sleeper Bridgewater. I didn't want to throw him in the top 12 yet because I just, me and him are a little on bad terms.
Yeah, on bad
but
terms.
I'm gonna give him the sleeper spot this week. See what he does against a bad.
That's a good sleeper pick because obviously me having a 12 is higher than most people would have him.
So he could definitely be a good.
My bust of the week. He's had a good season, but I'm not sold on him being an every week guy, and he's playing a tough matchup against the Jets. I have Derek Carr as my bust of the week.
Yeah, he started off really hot.
Yeah, I mean, again, he had a good game last week. He has some good games, but again, the Jets have a really good pass defense. Right. They have a good defense in general, so I'm just worried about that. And it just I don't know. I'm not ready to call him an every week guy yet.
Right. We'll see. Yeah, I can see that. Bust. Can I put Sam Bradford in there?
He's on a bye week, but yeah, you still can.
Yeah, I'll just put Sam Bradford.
He'll lose the bye.
Just because I want to take the airtime for a minute, just to say how disgusted I am with him. I'm throwing him under the bus. He's a bust. I'm just calling him a bust right now.
He's a bust on the bye
for the rest of the season.
I'm into that.
Yeah, he's been a big letdown. A lot of guys are drafting him pretty high, thinking this Eagles offense is gonna fly.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. And in waiver pickups again with quarterbacks, there's not too much movement in waivers. The only one I would keep it on because he's starting this week and he's a polarizing figure. You got Johnny Football. So if you wanna get some rushing yards, maybe I don't know. I wouldn't pick him up, but
yeah,
he's there. He's physically there.
I got two guys for you that might be out there. One, Hoyer. He's been playing pretty good lately. I mean,
it was a garbage time game. We started off awful.
His team's bad.
I told you one boy. I think it was 1 for 11 for 6 yards.
But he's getting garbage points because his team's so bad. He's gonna get those.
And that's the thing. You can still have good weeks if that team's that bad.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure it was the game against Atlanta when Mallet started. Hoyer came in off the bench and threw 2 or 3 touchdowns. So
exactly,
he's a garbage time king. He's getting a lot of luck points.
And then one of the names to throw out there, just in case he's still on your waiver wire, is Tony Romo. He's not coming back for maybe number 3-4 weeks. Probably not
playoff push
time. But hey, if he's out there,
the odds are if you're a playoff team, your quarterback's good enough to where you don't need to have Romo.
Unless you got Eli Manning.
If you're still you're right. You got cash.
I would look to Romo.
There you go. If you're somehow 5-2 and Eli Manning's a quarterback, go. But then again, he's in like a 4-team league, so. That's why
12 teams in that league.
12. That's embarrassing. You told me you just picked up Hillman last week off free agency in a 12-team league.
That's because some clown went and dropped him because of the bye week.
It's a whole league. It's a league full of clowns.
I picked the whole starting team up on the bye week.
That's a circus league. Running backs. We'll kick things off and do my top 10 real quick. Devontae Freeman, still number 1. He's at home against Tampa. Again, he's good. He really is good. It's not a fluke anymore. Number 2. Which was my number 1 last week, and he had a great game, and I'm assuming he's going to do it again. I just couldn't put him number 1 yet with Freeman's matchup. Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley is so good. He's so good. He's at home against San Francisco, who is not good. So I like Gurley. Another 100 yards, another touchdown or 2. Number 3, Mark Ingram at home against the Giants. Got a little music going on. He had a good game last week, 150 yards. He scored a touchdown. He'll catch like 3 balls. And again, at home, he's always dangerous. Number 4, Adrian Peterson at Chicago. That's all I got to say about that. Adrian Peterson against Chicago. Number 5, Le'Veon Bell at home against Cincinnati. It's damn good number 5 running back. Yeah. I think that is like your tier 1. After that, starts to drop off a little bit. But he's still obviously a top tier guy. Number 6, Chris Johnson. It's actually the highest I've ever had him. He's playing consistent. I literally, when they signed him, I laughed. I thought this guy's done.
Resurrected his career.
He completely resurrected his career, and he has a good matchup against Cleveland, who's one of the worst run defenses in football. Number 7, Marshawn Lynch at Dallas. Number 8, Matt Forte at home against Minnesota. I don't have much to say about these guys. They're just kind of there. Veteran guys. You know you're going to get. I don't need to explain it.
Guys all year.
Yeah, number 9, Justin Forsett at home against San Diego. San Diego's run defense is the worst in football, officially. Best stats. So Forsett's running back 1 this week. And number 10, Chris Ivory at Oakland. Still good. That was your boy again, too.
Yeah, hey, right before we jump,
I got to say, you nailed a lot of these picks before the year.
I had Freeman on my team early in the year. I traded him off. Might have been stupid. But, hey, I had Freeman. I had Ivory. I had Carson.
You were on a lot of these guys.
And if we go back to the preseason, there's so many people that called in and were like, "Oh, you're a moron."
Yep, I am. That's how you became so infamous.
I want these people to call in, tweet the show. Let us know what your record is.
You're not going to hear from them anymore.
And how you're doing in your league. I'm just curious because I'm actually 5-1, 5-2 right now. So I'm pretty happy with what
they say 5-1, Joe, bye week. Yeah.
So I'm just curious to see what these guys are at. But hey, that's all fun.
No, we got it's top 10.
Number 1, I actually have Gurley. I agreed with it last week. I'm going to keep him at it. He just looks
He's
better
so
and better
good.
every time I see him. I wish I would have got him on my team.
I do. I'm so happy.
I didn't
like 10th round.
I'm not a college guy, so I don't know these guys as well as you do. And I usually don't like to rate them too high coming into the draft because I don't want to get burned on one of these.
No, because look what happened with everyone else. Every other rookie running back.
Yeah.
Has not. Tevin Coleman lost his job. Melvin Gordon's been bad. Abdullah's not been good. So he really is like the one rookie running back who's legit killing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't like to overrate these guys, but now I think it's time to really start giving this kid his due. He's looked so good. Every week's getting better. He's playing San Francisco. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 150. Or,
no, I wouldn't be. At least one.
Right. Number 2, I actually have Le'Veon Bell. I think with Ben back, they're not going to automatically start chucking it crazy. I think a lot of Ben's balls will be checked down to the Bell. I think they'll lean on him, try to run the clock down a little bit against Cincinnati, control the game. I think Bell could have a big game if they're going to win.
You can always have a big game.
Number 3, I have AP. Like you said, he's playing the Bears. Nothing else to say there. Number 4, I have Freeman against Tampa. Great matchup for Freeman. He hasn't been going crazy like he has.
Yeah, when I was looking, I know he did a lot in like the 2 or 3 games, but I was looking at like the total numbers because somebody tried to get Mark Ingram off me today, and it came with some awful trade.
Right.
It was like John Brown and it was John Brown and Amir Abdullah.
They're always awful.
I was like, dude, no. I was like, not at all. But then I was like, oh, girl. I was like, Ingram's number 2 running back in fantasy. Then I saw like 80 points ahead of him was Freeman. I'm like, good Lord.
You know what? It's some of that is kind of, I'm not going to discredit Freeman, but 80 points ahead, that's a little bit of an anomaly. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because when he scored 3 touchdowns back-to-back weeks.
Is he really going to keep that up?
No, he's not.
No, he's going to come back down. People are going to catch up to
him.
I
mean, if he wasn't playing at home against Tampa, trust me, he'd be more in that 6 range.
Right, but at this week, he has a good matchup. I mean, 3 touchdowns, probably not. I mean, I can see him having 1 or 2, though.
Just because he's going to get 4.
Right. Number 5, I got Marshawn Lynch. He's turning back into beast mode the last couple weeks.
He is.
I mean, I wasn't high on him going into the year, and it looks like it was smart of me to
say
so.
product of the system.
But now he's starting to pick back up.
Thomas Rawls.
Right.
Thomas for 130 yards to that team. So
I think Lynch seen him do that. I was like, hey, this kid's going to steal my
schedule, and I think I got lit a fire on him.
Right. So
which is tough to do for Marshawn.
Yeah. He
doesn't show a lot of emotion.
Nah, he's kind of laid back guy. He's sleeping on the field, whatever. Number 6, I have Justin Forsett. Been my guy all year. He scared me a little bit in the first couple of weeks.
He's come back.
Much. He's coming in hard, and he has a great matchup this week, like you said, against San Diego. Should be a good game for him. Number 7, I got Matt Forte, Minnesota. Forte is pretty much their whole offense. Alshon's back.
Now he's back.
It should actually help him. It should open up some running lanes. They got to cover Alshon.
Yeah, you can't put 10 in the box against.
Yeah, and that's
with Alshon out there.
Number 8, Chris Johnson against Cleveland. A great matchup.
We have the same top.
Yeah, he's been consistent. I mean, what do I like Chris Johnson? The name? No.
No.
Can I argue what he's doing? No,
exactly. That's kind of how I felt about Fitz. Like I would never trade 4 Fitz on 1 Fitz. But can I argue with the fact that he was good? Yeah, no, I can't really do that.
Yeah, I gotta give him some credit. At this point in the season. Number 9, Mark Ingram against the Giants. Like you said, he had a good game last week. He should have another good game this week against the Giants defense. What did McFadden do against them last week?
140, something like that. I mean, that's Darren McFadden.
Yeah, so I think Ingram could definitely have a good game if they give him the ball enough. We'll see.
That's the problem.
And number 10, to round it out, I have Chris Ivory. And
so we literally have the same top 10. It's a consensus. We just have a little different here and there.
Yeah, same guys, a little different rank.
Quickly run through 11 through 20 before we hit the break. My number 11, Doug Martin at Atlanta. He's been good. Again, another guy who it took a while for us to finally believe that he actually was good because he's let everyone down for 2 straight years, but I think he's back. Number 12, and this is actually a guy I think was like, ooh, I won't spoil. I'll leave that cliffhanger.
I think somebody heard me when I said call in.
You're on the fantasy show.
Hey guys, Joey.
Hey, what's up, Joey?
Hey, all right. Got a question. I hear you guys talking about Eli Manning here. I'm guilty of holding on to Eli Manning all season and starting him.
That's not good.
Now I have in the league. I happen to just be 6-1. I skated through last week on Eli 6 points. I happened to win by 2 points.
Jesus.
I have Matthew Stafford and I have Ryan Tannehill on the waiver wire.
Who's on the waiver wire?
Should I pick up one for the rest of the season, or should I play matchups? Because Eli obviously.
Who was on the waiver wire?
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh wow.
And Matthew Stafford.
Oh wow. Well, I definitely would start both of them over Eli Manning. I think. Although technically, I guess I had Eli like one spot ahead of Tannehill only because of his matchup. I think going forward, you're gonna have a better shot with Tannehill. Definitely play Stafford this week though. If you have a droppable play or an open spot, I would go Stafford.
I would try to get.
Well, I mean, this is my issue here, and I'm also honestly just thinking about dropping Eli. I mean, Eli.
Yeah, go for it. I'm
Jarvis
not going to
Landry,
argue.
Sanders, Cobb, Chris Johnson, Eddie Lacy, Gates.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman, Stephon Diggs, and Eric Ebron.
Well, you can of course.
The league isn't very deep.
Yeah, you can obviously drop.
roster spots.
You can drop Ebron. Let's be honest. I mean, you can if you're worried about Gates being hurt. Obviously, I guess that's why you're rostering him. But yeah, you can definitely drop Eli.
Yeah, I was worried about Gates. That's the only reason I have Ebron. But,
yeah.
All right, just calling them to get that one. Oh, and in this league, it just happened to be. I know your things about trades. I'm not in many leagues where people trade a lot, but I have more of a ad drop for the year. And
yeah,
the dude after like week 3.
I'll take that.
The dude goes, oh, this dude's averaging like 3 yards a carry. He sucks. Drop Mark Ingram.
What? Why would?
Yeah, swear to God. And I was second on the waiver wire. I was so mad.
Did you get him?
He was scooped up. No, I didn't get him. He was scooped up. Like, who's not going to pick him up?
That's awful. That is really bad.
Yeah, dude's first round pick, and he's like, oh, he's averaging 3 yards a carry. Drop him. So I can't go for the trade thing. I'm not in a lot of leagues where guys teams make trades. But yes, that is an all-time ad drop of worst ad drops ever.
Yeah, that's bad. I don't know. I don't know. Yards per carry was a fantasy stat. So
wow.
Yes, it wasn't a fantasy stat. It was just
I don't know what it's not a fantasy stat.
I don't know what he was going with, but
no, that's a good one, man. Thanks for the call.
So let's go back real quick. Go Stafford long term, go Tannehill long term, and play matchup week by week. Because people are just once their bye weeks are over, they're dropping quarterback.
If quarterback's that deep, you can stream it.
Yeah, I'd play matchups.
Yeah.
If I had to go one long term, it'd probably be
Tannehill.
Just what he's showing me, I think he's going to start turning it on. I think Stafford's been benefiting from matchups. But if I was you, I would just play the matchups. I mean, Eli might have a good matchup in 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if I'd want to drop him completely because he can still put up a good game. But I would probably want Tannehill on my roster because if he has another game like last week, he's not going to be out there.
Yeah, if you need to go long term, go Tannehill.
I'm partially, the reason Tannehill's out there, I drafted him and Eli to play matchups all season. And after Tannehill was just awful for like 4 straight weeks, I dropped him. But now it seems to do better. So
that's fair.
I move, pick him up.
That's fair. And I did receive your tweet on Twitter. Once we get the receivers, I'll definitely answer that for you. All right.
All right. Cool.
All right. Thanks for calling in, Joey. Man, dropping Mark Ingram's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Do they even allow you to do that? Isn't there something that says like
there's a can't cut list? I don't think he's that good because he was like a 4th round pick. But
oh man,
I mean that's pretty awful.
Yeah, that guy needs to leave the league.
So yeah, that's something you would just put your head down and be like, all right, I'm out of here.
I would probably be pretty mad as one of the other owners actually because
I would be pissed too because you just gave some you gave somebody a top pick, you gave somebody a running back 1
because the other guy's a moron. I mean,
that's bad. My number 12, who I was explaining, who I realized was actually like a top 5 running back in PPR league, is Danny Woodhead. So I have him at number 12 at Baltimore. Baltimore's defense is not like old. Number 13 came back from the dead. Jonathan Stewart at home against Indy. Cam doesn't steal all his touchdowns. Neither does Mike Tolbert. They try. If he got every goal line carry, literally he'd be a top 8 running back. Yeah. Unfortunately, Tolbert and Cam steal all of them. But he had 2 last week. Rushed well. He ran, or no, I think it 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and he killed Eagles last week.
I was playing him that week. He got 2 touchdowns.
It's nice. I like that. Number 14, he had a good game last week. Charkandrick West officially won the job, and he's at home against Detroit. Detroit's not a good defense, so I think he can replicate that again.
I'm sure Dante's happy about that.
He is happy about that. He hated him last week. Number 15, Lamar Miller at New England. Not a great matchup because they're obviously going to be trailing. Let's be honest here. But that being said, he did catch that 50-yard touchdown pass last week, so it's not like he can't catch. He's not, Garrett Blunt or anything back there. Number 16, Ronnie Hillman at Green Bay. He's still officially won the job, but he's going to end up getting more carries. He's been out carrying CJ. CJ, he's borderline droppable. He actually got dropped in my other league. Somebody picked him up on waivers, but he got dropped for a week. Number 17, again, as long as he plays, which from what I'm hearing is he's probably going to, Deion Lewis at home against Miami. I had to drop him. This is the lowest I've had him since he debuted on the show.
I know. I hope so.
Number 18, Frank Gore at Carolina. Nothing sexy about it, but Gore's been much better the last 4 games than he was the first 4 games or however many games have been played.
Right.
Number 19, I don't even want to put him on the list, but I just have to. Eddie Lacy at Denver. Tough matchup. And you still have to start him because you know the second you bench him, he's going to run for 120 and a touchdown. You know what's going to happen.
I'm thinking about benching him this week.
And so am I. And number 20, Duke Johnson at home against Arizona, solely for the fact that he will catch you 7 balls a game. And they're going up against a good defense. So he's probably a lot of dump balls. Especially although I just actually now remember Johnny Manziel starting. So the 7 catches are probably going to go right back down to 2 catches. But whatever. We'll just see. Hopefully Johnny panics and just dumps off.
Ball's going to be sailing right over.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it now. It just hit me.
Okay. Number 11, I have Lamar Miller against New England. Somebody, I told you, I tried to trade for Lamar Miller.
I tried
2 weeks ago.
So did I.
And
it's still pending. The guy hasn't even answered me.
Couldn't get the deal done. Now Lamar Miller decides to play like Lamar Miller.
Yeah, no shot.
That he should have been all year, and now no one's trading him. So, I tried, but it didn't happen. Number 12, I caught your man Jonathan Stewart. Been playing better, like you said. He's going against Indy. Not a great defense. Maybe Tolbert and Cam don't steal so many touchdowns this week. And, Stewart,
wishful thinking.
Stewart gets a couple of those. Number 13, I have Doug Martin. Someone I kind of wrote Doug Martin off 2 years ago after his great season he had when he was a bust.
Because you should have.
Because I had him on my keeper league, and he just annoyed me so much that I used a spot to keep him, and he just played terrible. So I just I kind of erased his name from my mind, but after this year, kind of got to keep him in consideration because he's
still young. I think he's still like 25, probably.
He's a young running back, and he's actually playing good all year. So Doug Martin, I have him at 13 this week. Number 14, I have Sarkandrick West. That's how you pronounce his name.
Sarkandrick, maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It's like Charmander.
See West.
It sounds like a Pokemon. We're just gonna call him West.
Sarkandrick, I choose you.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm like. What? Anyway. His parents screwed up. Number 15, he's number 14 against Detroit this week. Number 15, we have Ronnie Hillman. I think he has been the best running back down there in Denver.
Easily.
He's playing Green Bay. I think he's gonna have a good week this week. We'll see what he does because I don't think the Peyton's gonna get the job done. I think the running back's gonna have to do it. Number 16, I have Frank Gore. Playing better, like you said, this week. Playing Carolina, tough matchup. I think Luck could rely on him a little bit in the passing game. He'll get some catches. Maybe he'll break a couple off. Number 17, I have Deion Lewis. I'm hoping, please play this week, Deion. I need you on my team. Eddie Lacy's killing me. I can't have.
Sadly, it's a short week with Thursday game. I think if it was Sunday, for sure you'd see him. But
trust me, I'm going to be checking it all day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be screwed.
Don't just wake up at 9 and check it.
No, I'm not going to wake up from a nap like I did. And then now you're on the watch now, Deion. Hope you don't screw me. Number 18, LeGarrette Blount. Either way, I think the Patriots running backs are going to do some damage in this game. I think Brady's going to get them down to the goal line, give Blount some opportunities,
and throw to Gronk.
And if it is a blowout, they both do well. You know what I mean?
And if it's a blowout, they'll continue to throw the ball 60 times a game.
Right. So if Deion will catch the balls, Blount will steal all the goal line work. He always does. Number 19. I have Darren McFadden last week and showed me something last week. I mean, I don't like McFadden. No. Never did. Don't like the Cowboys. But, hey, they're committed to run the ball down there. They got that all line. They're like, listen, we're going to use this offensive line with either – doesn't matter if we have Christian Michael.
They could probably put anyone back there and at least be competent.
That's what I'm thinking at this point because every running back is someone had a good game for them. So I'm thinking Darren McFadden can continue that. Seattle hasn't been that monster D this year like they have been. And number 20, I have – Eddie Lacy.
See, just bad out of respect for his career, you have to put him on.
And this is the last shot for you, Eddie. If you screw me this week, I've already tried to trade you. No one wants you, and I'm kind of just praying that you're not the bust at number 3. Please play well this week.
So that's what we got for the running backs. We'll do quick sleepers and busts. My sleeper of the week, and this is pretty damn deep. Dexter McCluster. It's a mess in the Tennessee backfield, but he had 6 catches last week, and he's apparently the best of the running backs, like running wise. That's like what they're going to be giving the most carries, either him or Andrews. It's going to be a battlefield, but if you have to, he's playing Houston. That's kind of the main reason I'm doing this, right? Because we all just saw what Houston has done. Lamar Miller literally just
right. I was
actually a new one.
I was thinking about picking him up this week just because with the Deion Lewis possibly being out, Eddie Lacy looking like a bust, thinking about benching him. I'm just seeing, is there anybody out there I could actually pick up that could
It's pretty deep. It's a deep sleeper.
Yeah, it's like, damn.
You're in a hibernation. It's like a hibernation pick.
Yeah, but he's a good PPR guy. He catches balls. My sleeper, I'd do Alfred Blue this week. Arian Foster, he's gone for the year with Achilles. Blue had a pretty decent game before Arian came back. I mean, before that he wasn't playing too good, but maybe he's playing Tennessee this week. Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he'll have a good.
My bust of the week. I don't agree with you with the top 20 pick for LeGarrette Blount. I think he will be the bust of the week, LeGarrette, just because they just don't run the ball enough. It's not that he's not good enough. It's just they don't run the ball enough. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, Blount is. It's either you're on the goal line, Blunt's getting his points. If you're not on the goal line, then he's kind of,
And waiver wire pickups out there if you have to. Dexter McCluster, McFadden's probably out there. Obviously, you already, he's been picked up. Alfred Blue, I mentioned, and it was pretty deep here. But if he can eventually win this job in New York, because nobody knows who's winning the New York job.
Right.
Orleans Darkwa had a good game. Hopefully, he can get the main carries there.
My boss, I go Latavius Murray. He's playing the Jets.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have him top 20. I didn't consider that.
Tough front. I
mean,
it's
a good pick.
I don't. If you got him on your team, he's probably been a running back 1 or 2 for you all year. I think this week he probably has a little disappointment.
That's a good one. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back with receivers and get out of here. Take us out, Cashy. He's too busy checking the waiver wire for Eli replacements.
Had damage to your house? Avoid the hassle. Just call Castle Public Adjusters. Get the edge on your insurance company. 215-752-1237. That's 215-752-1237. Or check them out at castlepa.com. Don't settle for less. Get the maximum for your claim. Castle Public Adjusters. 215-752-1237.
Hey, yo, Cassie, what are you doing?
I got plumbing problems here. I can't get the water to go down the drain. What am I going to do?
Call Guaranteed Plumbing, 215-342-7200 for all your plumbing needs. Serving the Philadelphia area and the greater Delaware Valley.
What was that phone number again?
215-342-7200.
Oh, yeah, oh.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free, instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
And we are back with the SG Fantasy Football Show. Again, like I said, you can call us, you can text us, you can tweet us, 267-563-2893. And again, if you want to win those tickets, all you got to do is tweet us your best lineup. Best lineup, again, that's a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, kicker, and a defense. We'll tally it up, whoever has the best lineup. Little FanDuel knockoff here, but of course, we're better than FanDuel because we're not FanDuel. And I'm not going to shove it down your throat every time you turn on the TV. While we're at the break, though, Cashy had the World Series game on. Pat looks up and goes, "Oh, what is this?" Says the World Series. He goes, "The Mets are in the World Series?"
He's up to date.
Yeah,
he's staying in tune with the.
I'm so
He's so ingrained with football.
No, he's focused on his fantasy team. Nothing else matters to him.
Nothing. I mean, and I haven't seen one pitch of the playoffs. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know if this was a preseason game. I looked up.
You are in first place in your league?
I'm in first place, and I think I'm in first in one. The other one I'm in second.
I think it's like 5-2 in every league or something.
I'm in like 5-2 in 2 leagues, and I'm in 4-3. I really should be 6-0 in that league. I got a couple bad.
I got a 6-1 under my belt.
Really?
Yeah, I got a 6-1 under my belt. I put up 200 points last week because my running backs are Ingram, Gurley, and Lamar Miller. So.
Ooh.
Well, I'm guessing you don't have any time to do anything else. That many teams.
No, I got 3 teams. I'm focused on that, and
I play in 15 FanDuel leagues. I just can't.
Yeah, I wake up and I look up.
He didn't know baseball was still playing.
I see the Mets in the World Series, and
He literally said, "What is this?"
The Mets cannot win the World Series, people. Come on.
They can. They may. They got good pitching. But anyway, this is football. Yeah. It's a man sport. I'm just kidding. I love baseball too. But anyway, we're gonna get to the receivers. I'll go with a quick top 10. We're running a little behind schedule, but my number 1 is Julio Jones. Not sold. I mean, yeah, he's not the same. He's not the first 3 weeks of the season, Julio, but again, good matchup. So he's the best. And actually, receiver is really deep. I mean, I was getting to like number 11, 12, and I'm like,
good ones.
I'm getting to like 11 and 12. I'm like, Edelman, like how is he this low? And I don't know, it's good. Number 2, DeAndre Hopkins at home against Tennessee. Didn't have as great of a game last week, but definitely with this matchup, I think he's going to bounce back. I just think he tuned out. When you were down 42-0 in the second quarter, I'm pretty sure I think he just tuned out. Antonio Brown comes back to the top 5 after his hiatus for 2 or 3 weeks. Number 3. Number 4, Keenan Allen. I mean, literally, that's the only guy Rivers looks at. So just put Keenan Allen in. Number 5, Calvin Johnson against Kansas City. He's back too. Calvin was a guy who was like dangerous, getting that like right off territory, where you're still going to start him off his name, but he's going to put up 8 points and be pissed off.
Very happy what he's been doing.
Yeah, so he's back now too. Number 6, Odell Beckham at New Orleans. Good matchup. As Beckham hasn't been as great, and as everyone thought he was going to be, but he's still wide receiver 1 easy. Number 7, Demaryius Thomas against Green Bay. Number 8, AJ Green at Pittsburgh, and number 9, Emmanuel Sanders again against Green Bay. Again, this is number 9, and we're still with Emmanuel Sanders. Number 10, Alshon Jeffrey at home against Minnesota. Again, that's really the only guy that Cutler should be looking at. So I expect Jeffrey to have monster games theoretically from this point forward.
Yeah, I actually tried to trade for him too earlier. I couldn't get it done when he was.
I had so many offers for Alshon because Dante has Alshon, so he kept trying, but he was asking literally for like
too much.
Mark Ingram and Gurley. I'm like, what? No, like Alshon hasn't played. Like I'm not gonna roll the dice on Alshon Jeffrey for like my 2 running backs.
He was like someone I would have loved to have though if I could have got like a decent
good price.
Yeah. Number 1, I got Julio. Like you said, not playing insane out of his mind. I think he's dealing with a little injury. I don't know. Hamstring, something out there. It's kind of preventing him from going off, but maybe this weekend's Tampa with that matchup, he can do that.
Re-energize him.
Number 2, Antonio. I welcome you back to my lineup. I actually benched you last week.
Did you really?
I benched him. I just couldn't. I don't know. I didn't bench him last week. It was 2 weeks ago. I benched him when Vic was still quarterback. I couldn't take the Vic.
You really are.
I hate my.
You're a ballsy guy. It usually pays off.
Yeah, my buddy.
Because I think he had like 6 points that week or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, that's the week. My buddy's a big Antonio Brown, big Steelers fan. He's like, that's sacrilegious. You can't bench Antonio. I said, oh yeah, watch me. He's gonna get you a 0.
With Vic as quarterback, you can always bench him. Hey, you're on the fantasy show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How you doing?
Welcome back, Pat.
Hey,
I don't really mean that, by the way.
Oh, wait. I'm glad you're still listening.
But I hear you guys talking about Peyton Manning, and I thought I'd seen it today, but last week somebody in my league actually dropped him.
Rest in peace.
They dropped Peyton Manning, and I never thought I'd seen it happen, but
it's getting to the point where
I actually wish I would have picked them up because Sam Bradford's been my only quarterback all year long.
Hey, well then you might as well just play Russian roulette at the same time.
But I'm actually happy to be above 500 with Bradford as my quarterback.
That's a testament.
But you must have a good team.
And if Chris Johnson would have scored on that 70-yard run, I would be 5-2 right now.
Ooh, tough breaks.
But
what more do you want him to do? You want him to score a 100-yard run?
I had question for you.
Sure.
I have I picked up their car with Bradford being on a bye, which I don't really like his matchup this week.
No.
And I really want to pick up Brian Hoyer against the Titans this week, but I don't want to lose Carr because I'd rather have him long term over Hoyer.
You might just
want
to.
You think I should start or Hoyer or Carr?
You might just want to cut Bradford and go with Hoyer and Carr.
Yeah, it's time to cut Bradford. Give up on him.
I really do want to cut Bradford, but
no, I understand. It's tough.
I just keep praying he's gonna break out of it.
Yeah, spoken like a true Eagles fan.
So are the Eagles. But no, I mean, for 1 week, for this week, yeah, I think Hoyer is a better play. But I don't think Hoyer is that much better where I would risk losing Carr because I think Carr is better long term.
But you know what? Take a look at Hoyer's matchups in the playoffs. I mean, you're obviously going to make the playoffs.
He's going to be playing.
He has good
probably
matchups.
Probably the Jags and the Titans.
He has good matchups. Honestly, drop Bradford, get Hoyer on the bench for long term, and then just stream him and Carr because either one are going to be a better.
Yeah, that's what I've been looking at Carr and Hoyer's matchups come playoff time.
Yeah, they're good matchups. So keep
I'm not ready to cut ties with Bradford yet. I want to wait till Thanksgiving at least.
Nah, you want a couple more horrible games before you a couple more bad games. What are you waiting for?
Hoping Bradford comes out and just throws for 450 and 5 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
Well, you know what?
Nice.
He probably will have a good game against the Cowboys, but it might be his last good game of the year.
I got a trade for. I don't know if at the time it was that bad a trade, but the guy traded Peyton Manning, Giovanni Bernard, and I don't know if there was one or two other players. They were both scrub players, but for Adrian Peterson and Devontae Adams. This was like 3 weeks ago, and the only two still on each other's rosters are Adrian Peterson and Giovanni Bernard. So it's pretty much a trade for AP for Bernard because the guy dropped Peyton Manning anyway.
That would count as a bad trade.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anytime you're trading away Adrian Peterson and you're coming back with Gio Bernard as the primary member of that trade.
Even at the time, if you thought Peyton if you weren't going to drop him, why would you do that? I mean, how bad was his quarterback?
Situation?
He had to have Romo.
I mean, he actually just dropped Derek Carr too. I don't know. He has.
This guy's a mess.
Can't think of who his quarterback. Oh, he has Blake Bortles as his quarterback now.
He's actually solid now.
But
he should have just picked up Bortles.
It was like
kept AP.
Like 3 weeks after the trade, he dropped Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's bad.
The guy's also has 1 win this year. So.
Well,
that explains
a lot. Yeah, it's a bad trade.
So,
but a question: Where do I submit my lineup to?
You can tweet us, you can text us, you can put it on our Facebook page, or you can always go to sgshow.net. The very far right, you'll see a little contact tab. You just put in your name, email address, put in your lineup, send it over. That's all you got to do.
Okay. When's that have to be submitted by?
I would assume game time. I mean, if you're gonna use somebody from the Patriots Dolphins game, obviously have it in before that game starts. If not, you could have it in by game time Sunday. So if Brady goes off for 4 touchdowns tonight, don't send him in on Sunday.
I hope not to hear you the rest of the year, Pat.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for the call.
Support.
Told you, man, you're a polarizing figure.
I'm glad the people are still listening. I'm glad they're still hating.
They love to hate you.
I love it.
They love to hate you. But yeah, so wait, receivers, right?
Yeah, I was at number 2. I think I had Antonio. I was telling you.
Yeah, you're telling me how you benched him.
And my buddy's a Steelers fan. He's telling me it's sacrilegious. You can't do that. I'm like, listen, I'm benching Antonio as long as Michael Vick's his quarterback. He just can't get the job done. Now that Ben's coming back, I got Antonio at 2, and I expect that to rise up as long as Ben shows me he can play again. Number 3, I have Keenan Allen against Baltimore. Great matchup. Rivers throws the ball 50 times a game, and half of those targets usually go to Allen. So we got him at number 3. Number 4, I have ODB against New Orleans. He's been a little beat up. I think he comes back this week in the Dome and puts on a show. Number 5, I have AJ Green. Pittsburgh secondary, we talked about it. Gives up a lot of yards. I can see AJ having a big game, maybe like 150 and a touchdown, something like that. Number 6, I got your boy Hopkins.
That's low.
Had a bad game last week, and I think
he had a bad Hopkins game.
Yeah, we had like 6-7 points. I mean, that's not.
Well, PPR had like 11.
Okay, well, that's not a Hopkins game. He needs to be putting up 25, and I think this week he can get back to that. Maybe less than 20. I don't know. Number 7, I got Calvin. Like you said, he's reemerging, and Stafford. I don't know. Maybe like Calvin had a strong talk with Stafford.
He should have
sat him down, put him over his knee, and spanked him.
Yeah, he should have beat the shit out of him.
Listen, kid,
he wasn't even looking at him.
You're ruining my career, and you're not getting me the ball. So why don't you just sit down and throw the ball to me?
And what happened? They got their first win. What a shocker!
We'll start winning, and my fantasy owners will be happy with me. I'll start getting tweets from all my owners that hate me right now. So Calvin's stepping back up. People are happy with that. KC's a good matchup. Number 8, I have Demaryius Thomas going against Green Bay. For some reason, I just think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
It's a good reason. It's good.
Yeah, I just think Demaryius is going to be in the mix a lot. I think Rodgers is going to be scoring, so I think it's going to be going back and forth somewhat like that.
Let's hope so.
Number 9, I have Julian Edelman. Disappointing game last week.
Does the finger concern you at all?
It does, because ever since that happened, he just hasn't been himself. And before that happened, he was getting targeted in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like crazy. He had like 10 targets in like the first quarter.
I just assume it's a finger. He'll find ways. He's too good to where let a finger be the reason he's not going to be.
Yeah, and then Amendola's been stepping up.
know.
And I just feel like Brady can make anybody good. And so it's like, you know what, Julian?
You can't make Brandon LaFell good.
No, well,
Brandon LaFell will drop 7 passes. Doesn't matter.
What the speedy white
If you
guys.
if you can drop a Peyton Manning, or if you can drop a Tom Brady football, what ball can you catch? I understand I can understand if you drop a Peyton Manning duck or a Mike Vick, at your foot, But if you drop a Tom Brady ball, you can't play football.
So that finger is probably hurting him. It is worried of me. I mean, I'm hoping he comes back this week and has a good game against Miami. Number 10, I got Sanders. Like I said, I think both it's high scoring game in Denver. I think both receivers will have a good game.
Yeah, so we essentially have the same top 10 again. Just I think Alshon and Edelman normally switches.
Right.
But my number 11 is Julian Edelman at home against Miami. Number 12, it's the same thing you said. I mean, he'll be there. Finger's not going to keep him out. Number 12, Brandon Marshall at Oakland. Marshall's been really good. He makes a lot of dumb decisions, but that doesn't affect your fantasy team. It just affects your real team. You'll lose a game here and there, but worst he can do is lose you 2 points on a botched pitch back to somebody.
Yeah.
Number 13, Larry Fitz starting to creep down. I had him. He was top 10 for a while, but again, I don't know if Hayden's playing or not. If he is, I'll drop him even lower than 13. But I don't think Hayden's playing. Number 14, welcome back, Mike Evans. He shut up and played some football again last week. I think he dropped like 40.
Yeah.
He's at Atlanta. Again, it's hit or miss with Evans at this point. Number 15, Randall Cobb. He's actually, he hasn't had as good a year as everyone was hoping, especially with the Jordan Nelson injury. But he is Aaron Rodgers' top target still, so that means something. Number 16, Jarvis Landry at New England. I think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a shootout per se, but I think they're definitely going to have plenty of opportunity to throw the ball. So Landry be the beneficiary of that. Number 17, Jeremy Maclin at home against Detroit. Solid matchup, and Macklin's been solid all year. Number 18, Stephon Diggs. I had to do it. He's had 3 straight good games, and now he goes into Chicago. I think he's going to be one of the reasons why Bridgewater is going to turn it on this week as well. Number 19, Amari Cooper at home against the Jets. Tough matchup, but Cooper's that good. I almost put Crabtree there, over Cooper in that same spot just because of the Revis factor.
Right.
But I have faith in Cooper. And number 20, the prince of garbage time, T.Y. Hilton at Carolina.
He had points last week.
What?
He had put up big points last week.
Yeah, because he did it all in the fourth quarter on 2 70-yard bombs because the corners fell down.
Yeah.
It was ugly, but
that's the kind of player him and Deshaun Jackson.
It's the kind of team they are. So that's my number 20. Rounding things out.
Number 11, I have Brandon Marshall against Oakland. He's been playing great all year. Gets a lot of targets. I mean, he's just putting up consistent points. Number 12, I have Larry Fitz. Like you said, Hayden doesn't play. Larry Fitz should have a pretty good game. He's getting a lot of targets from Palmer. Number 13, I have J Mack against Detroit. Like Charles down now, West stepped up, but Macklin is clearly the number one.
He's consistent.
Yeah, number one option over there, consistent. He's been putting up great games. I actually he's somebody I wish I would have drafted, and somebody I wish I could have got a trade for earlier in the year, but he's playing too good right now. Number 14, Mike Evans, like you said, hit or miss. Played in the dome against Atlanta.
I think it's a good chance to hit.
I think they could be trailing in that game, and Mike Evans could get some garbage.
It's a strong possibility they could be trailing in this game.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what's going to happen. Number 15, Alshon. Not as high on him as you this week, but I think he's definitely in the upper half of the top 20s at 15 against Minnesota. Number 16, Randall Cobb against Denver. Tough matchup, but like I said, I think this will be a high scoring game. I think Cobb will get some more targets. Maybe he's healed up a little bit more with the bye week, and he can start playing better the second half of the year. At least I hope so, because he was my number 2 pick this season. Number 17, I have T.Y. Hilton. Like you said, hey, garbage points.
Garbage points are still points.
They count. He showed me something last week.
I played against Andrew Luck. He had 2 points with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I think it was and he finished with like 40.
Oh my God, that's just
because we get again bonus points for 40-yard touchdowns.
That makes me sick. Number 18, Dante Moncrief, another Andrew Luck boy. He's been playing way more consistent than Hilton all year, but you know what? He doesn't have he doesn't have the ability to go nuts like Hilton did at the end because he's not going to catch those big bombs and get those extra points. But he's going to be consistent.
I like Moncrief better as a receiver.
No, I'd
Hilton.
rather start him every week. Oh, I mean, most weeks I'd rather start him, but because he's somewhere you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the big playability like Hilton that's going to go over the top and just get a crazy number for you. Number 19, I have Diggs. Like you said, he's playing coming on. I got him in one league.
I got him in all three.
Really? I
went out there and I tried to snatch them up.
Because some of these leagues, these guys are on the waiver wire like this. You know what I mean? And my position hasn't been that good since I've had a better record.
Yeah.
But in my one league, I did get him, and I wish I would have started him because
I only started him in one league, sadly.
I would have loved to start him because the Deion Lewis thing, but I didn't have time to do that. And if I would have had Diggs in there, I would have won last week.
That's painful.
You know, so I have to cry about that this week. And then number 20, Jarvis Landry. Now with Tannehill stepping up, I could just see him having, you know, a lot better rest of the season.
So we literally had 19 of 20 guys that are saying. I mean, we don't, you know, meet up ahead of thing. What do you have? That's what I have. Like, so it's a pretty consensus base. The only difference was you had Moncrief, I had Cooper. So,
different things.
Yeah. My sleeper pick of the week, Rashard Matthews. He had a long touchdown last week, which was some solid points, but he goes in with New England. I think they're going to be throwing the ball, and he's not going to have, you know, he's going to get. I just feel like this is going to be a game where he may overshadow Landry. I think that's a very possible. I wouldn't bet on it, but I think if you have to play somebody, Rashard Matthews, there's worse options. My bust pick of the week. I mean, I could probably put him on this list every week because I just despise him. I don't think he's good at all. Golden Tate at Kansas City. I saw him. Someone on ESPN had him like number 12 or 13. I almost puked when I saw that. So I don't like Golden Tate again.
My boss, I go Cooper just because the Revis thing. I think he could just shut him down. You know what I mean? Cooper is the rookie. Revis is a vet. I don't think he's going to let the rookie show him up.
Like Cooper's going to manhandle him, show him.
We'll see. We'll see. And I guess my sleeper, I don't know. I guess I'll go with Diggs. I mean, I put him at 20 or 19, but I still think he's pretty much a sleeper.
He's still,
to a lot of people. He's probably still out there to be picked up.
He shouldn't be, but yeah, he probably is. On the wire, Danny Amendola showed that he still plays football again in New England, and you know the injury may concern some people with Edelman. Robert Woods had a good game last week, and he's by default the number one receiver now in Buffalo. Percy Harvin, I don't know if he's sad or I don't know what's happening. Like personal reasons he couldn't play.
He was sad. That's what he said.
No, it was personal reasons. I don't know. It says he was out for personal. That's all it said. I don't know what his issue was. And all in Sammy Watkins, whatever he did to his foot or knee, ankle, I don't know, but he's not going to be back anytime soon. So then he also insulted the fans. I don't know if you saw that today. He said Buffalo fans are losers. I gotta love that.
Hey,
making my Clemson boys proud.
He's right.
If you're looking for any kind of injury pickups, Devontae Adams is back. He's going to be playing this week. Again, I wouldn't start Devontae Adams, but he's back. Just throwing it out there. He is back.
He's probably on the waiver wire too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's under the waiver wire section.
It might be a sneaky pickup.
I picked him up this week. I actually cut him 2 weeks ago. He's still there, so I was like, yeah, well, I'll pick him back up. I cut Deshaun Jackson. I said I'm not waiting any longer. I thought it was going to be like a 3-4 week injury. It turned out being 9 weeks. I said,
you know what? It's the only. He's actually not injured. He's actually just doing a lot of rapping right now.
He's scared.
He's doing a lot of home.
He's just scared to leave the house.
A lot of home invasion going on. You know. He's
because he knows that if he plays football, that they know where he's going to be. Yeah, and they're going to find him. Yeah, that's why you're not going to hear from him in his bye week because he's going to be hiding all bye week.
So you think that's the whole thing? They're looking for him?
No, I'm just kidding.
He's hiding. He's out my hamstring. I can't play.
Now, like I said, the question that I had out there was, I want to hear some of the bad trades. Now, Joey mentioned a bad pickup. The other guy, with an awful trade of Agent Peterson for nothing more than what I forget who he said. It was who's the running back? Someone. Bernard. Joe Bernard. Let's go. I got a couple of responses through our social media, Facebook and Twitter. And the guy showed proof. He showed us a screenshot of the trade. Get this one: Calvin Johnson for Thomas Rawls was an actual trade. Yeah, it happened. Come on, the guy ran for 130 yards one time, and you immediately traded Calvin Johnson for him. That was verified. I got the screenshot of that one. That's ridiculous. Another trade that went down. Where's this one?
That trade's collusion somewhere in there.
That's this is a collusion trade. This happened. This was Justin Forsett in the Steelers defense. Well, I don't know why defenses are involved in trades, but Justin Forsett for Buck Allen and the Cardinals defense. So you just basically said, you can have the starter, I'll take his backup, but you got to give him the Cardinals D in return. That was a real trade.
That's collusion.
He's real
That's
high.
collusion.
Real high on the Cardinals D there.
Real high in the Cardinals D.
Actually, to watch sometimes these fantasy leagues, guys putting stuff together. Like
That makes me think they're like going in together.
Something's
well,
up with that.
that's why you have a commissioner. He's supposed to,
Right.
verify
Actually,
that.
the commissioner is the one who made this trade, in case you're wondering.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so yeah,
We'll
that's
play in that
that's
league
shady.
next year.
No, I know, I don't. Another trade that was pretty bad. I saw this one. It was Odell Beckham and Ronnie Hillman for Larry Fitz, Duke Johnson, and Antonio Gates.
Well,
It got some feel. I mean, for the fact that Fitz hasn't been as good since week 3. Gates is hurt, and Duke Johnson is Duke Johnson's not exactly. You're not running to start Duke Johnson. And
who
you gave
was
up
it besides ODB? Who was the other guy?
Ronnie Hillman.
See, that's not as crazy. It depends what their roster.
I'm just
is
saying that was something that was thrown out there.
It's not like a great trade for the guy, but I could kind of see, Gates was playing really good. I mean, I don't know how bad the injury is, but I don't know. That one's iffy.
But I think we could keep going. I got some others, but there's nothing that's going to be Thomas Rawls for Calvin Johnson. That's phenomenal.
Congratulations.
Thomas Rawls.
It's legendary.
Shouldn't be owned.
Well, you know what? I actually have a really, really good one. My buddy, this is preseason, so it's not as.
Yeah, there's still bad trades.
At the time, it wasn't crazy.
Look, I traded DeMarco in a dynasty league 3 years ago. I traded DeMarco Murray and Hakeem Nicks to get back Trent Richardson.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a stinger.
And I said last year I had to watch Trent Richardson go for 2 yards to carry while DeMarco led the league by 300 yards. So it's a bad trade.
I can see what you're thinking at the time.
At the time, Richardson's come off a rookie year. We ran for like 1,000 yards at 10 touchdowns.
Looks like he's gonna be a great
Murray
quarterback.
couldn't stay on the field. I was like, all right, I'll
Right.
do it.
Now, the beginning
Still
of
a bad trade.
Beginning of the year, my buddy, he traded Devontae Adams and he picked up Hop. I think I told you this when I called him one
Yeah.
day. You guys were a little confused. It was Devontae Adams, the Green Bay receiver,
Yeah.
and he traded him and got Hopkins. And since then, the kid who gave up Hopkins, he's pretty much just quit. He actually does have a bad team. He's like,
Did he pay for the league yet, though?
I hope so.
Because if he didn't pay for the league, then
He's actually the commissioner. I just talked to the commissioner. The kid's been MIA. He had like 4 guys in his bye week last week, and the commissioner had to take over the team. And
it's a shame when that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the Hopkins trade that just made him go MIA.
That would make me quit the league.
We're actually wondering where he's at. We're actually worried about him.
maybe that was that deep seated in him. He just
I mean, after
just
seeing
took off.
Adams go down and have a horrible year, he just kind of jumped off the bridge, I guess.
That's bad. But that's what we got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the show, actually, I do want to answer Joey's question. I told him I'd get to it later. He had a quick stardom sit him. Again, I feel like he texts me this. He tweets us in every single week, and it's the same. He needs 2 receivers and a flex: Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Jarvis Landry, and Alshon Jeffrey. Joe, we get it. You have 4 good receivers. You don't have to keep bragging every week. Based off our rankings, I think we both agreed Landry would be the guy to bench. Or no? Did you? I think you had Landry ahead of
number 20 or something.
Yes, but again,
the 3, obviously Julio
and DeAndre, you're starting. Hopkins,
and then he needs a 3rd guy.
Is either Landry or Alshon.
In my ranks, I go Alshon.
Yeah, so did I. So yeah, there you go, Joe. You happy? You really you have to brag every week about how good it is.
Congratulations on your great 4 receivers.
Yeah, thanks. So again, I just want to remind you one more time, we're gonna get those lineups in. Like I said, I mentioned to the caller, have it in by game time Sunday, unless you're using a guy from tomorrow night's game, in which case get your lineup in at that point. That being said, Cashy.
Hey, don't forget to join us Monday night, 9 o'clock for Sports Goombahs show. I'll give you my picks. Hopefully we can do a little better than we did last week. I got the chef to the left. Of course, Mike will be there. 9 o'clock Monday night, Sports Goombahs.
Each and every Monday.
There you go.
Pat, thanks for stopping in.
I appreciate it. And I just want to let everybody know that submits their rosters. If you don't beat me,
you ain't going.
I'm going to win the tickets, and I'm going to wipe my, with them and flush them down the toilet because I don't really like Temple.
A very anti-Temple.
Go Notre Dame.
Didn't you hear a disclaimer?
What?
Didn't you hear a disclaimer about employees?
Yeah.
The money I'm paying you, and you want to be able a chance to win them tickets?
I just want to flush them down the toilet. I don't have to win them. I'm just going to steal them out of Mike's pocket.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. He just wants me to lose. Thanks for joining us, guys. Same time next week. Although probably not same time. It's going to be 8 p.m. next week. But go bye week.
Yeah, let's
over
go.
Sam Bradford.
No Sam Bradford. Cut him.
Get a week of not watching Bradford.